Hello out there in the YouTubeverse, it is Max, and I am back at you. This time, we are back on Arena, because there is Cube to be had, and this time it is a Chromatic Cube draft coming your way. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Hope everybody is doing well. Appreciate everybody tuning on in for a Chromatic Cube draft here on Superliminal Entertainment. We are not super familiar with the Cube at this point. I've been not playing. I played a Thunder Junction draft, I did no Murders at Karlov Manor. So I'm not really sure about these like alchemy cards and whatnot, specialty cards and things like that. But I love me a good Cube draft, so I can read. I've played Magic before. I think I can do at least serviceable for all of you, hopefully. Things I don't understand are like how good cards like Portal to Phyrexia really are. Like, is there enough fast mana support? Are there ways to cheat it out? Things like that. I don't know for sure, but I know it's an extremely powerful colorless card. So it could be quite good, or it could be a terrible first take because there's not enough support for it. Those are the things that really are not my speciality. Field Researcher, huh? It's a good card. 3 colors, always a little tough to take initially. There's some fixing. Overall, some like nothing that jumps out at me. Cheap removal or mana not mana fixing per se, but mana ramp, like the cheap mana rocks, things like that usually jump out to me. So I don't really think that that's going to be... There's nothing here that looks like that. Artifact. Yeah, just like no super cheap interaction, no ramp. Those are usually my first 2 things. There's a Stomping Ground, which is really good, obviously, right? Especially with fetch land support and things like that, if that exists in the Cube. That would be good. I think I'm just going to take Portal to Phyrexia. This card's really, really strong. And if I can ramp it out, great. If I have to drop my first pick, it's not the worst thing ever. It's Cube, right? Like, they're all really, really strong picks. Tamiyo's Many Journeys is kind of ramp. Hangerback Walker's a good way to stay alive. The Brawler's solid. Elspeth Conqueror's Death is solid removal, though a little bit more expensive. I like the Royal Eruption the best of all of these cards, I do believe. Huh, what a weird card. Again, 3 colors. Zealous Conscript solid. Like, there's solid cards in here, but they're all like kind of middling or high end. I could take a Bolus and try to dedicate myself to ramp, but that's a lot of colors to have to ramp. Azusa's Many Journeys is probably the most straightforward pick. It helps keep us alive. It helps ramp us. It's okay. It's not particularly great at it. Savai Triome's decent fixing. I'm always happy to have 1 or 2 Triomes in my deck if I can touch multiple colors. The problem is I don't know where I'm going yet. I'm going to take Azusa's Many Journeys, I guess, over the Royal Eruption. I like the cheap interaction, but I do think something at least ramp adjacent is smart for us to take early on. Okay. Bramble Familiar, I do believe, is sort of ramp. No, it's wrong. That's a mill card. It's like a regrowth effect more than ramp. Captain Lannery Storm's kind of bizarre ramp, but fine. Makes me wish I had taken the Royal Eruption if I go that way. The Celestis is straight up ramp. It's colorless ramp. That's probably the take for us here. I love Jadar. I love Black-Red Sacrifice. The Vodaran Thrillseeker can be quite good as well. There's a Touch the Spirit Realm, which is super solid. I like that a lot. Static Net, similar, but I don't think quite as flexible as Touch the Spirit Realm is. I'm just going to take the Celestis here over Maze Mind Tome, another good one if you're trying to fart around. Which is pretty good. Let's see here. Interesting. So you can kind of charge this up. It's very slow. 4th turn for a piece of ramp is a long time. This looks like a Blaze effect, which is fine, but not particularly quick or cheap removal, which is more what I tend to lean toward. Oh, this has a mile long of text. Interesting. Again, not particularly good. Burn Down the House can wipe the board, which is typically something that I like here. Maybe we Wheel Escape to the Wilds and we can go red, green, like ramp value removal. I don't mind that. Gives me everything that I want in a deck like this that's trying to top end out on Portal Phyrexia, especially ways to take out their creatures and then get them back later, right? I see Goldvein Hydra I remember being pretty good because I do pay attention to Vintage Cube, and I know this made its way in. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. I like that. I'll put my pick on that for now. Vorinclex always solid, but not like... If I knew I was going to go into this, it would be pretty good. Okay. Grotto's not exactly where I want to be. Yeah, I think I'll just take the Goldvein Hydra here. Even if I played as a 2-drop or a 3-drop, that's totally fine. Here I want the Elvish Mystic pretty badly. Avacyn's Judgment is fine, but not great for cheap removal. Worn Power Stone would be really good in a deck that's trying to ramp to 9. But I think here, Zagoth Triome doesn't have red in it, so it's not as tempting here. This does count as removal. So yeah, it's pretty easy Elvish Mystic here. I think Worn Power Stone would be my next pick if that were not in the pack, just because we're ramping pretty high, and Worn Power Stone is a good way to do that well. But we have the Celestis already that's colorless, and 3-mana ramp tends to be a lot more commonplace. We see it here with Cultivator's Caravan than the 1 or 2-drop ramp, which is usually at a premium. Devil's Play, I like the Gear Hulk. If we're playing big things, this can just win if they don't let us take the cards, like when we're playing giant things. Let me look at what the Tumblewag does here. Beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature whenever it attacks. While saddled, double the number of 1/1 counters. Okay, it does a lot. I don't think that's exactly what we're looking for. The Thran Spider... Tap Power Stone's always solid, but I think I'm just going to take the Gear Hulk here. This is a big way to smack somebody in the face after I wipe the board with Burn Down the House. I don't mind that too much. Cityscape Leveler is another really big card, and I think that's kind of where we're landing, right? Like, I see some... This is a piece of removal, but it's black, and I'd like to try to avoid that and stay 2 colors if I can. But, yeah, here I'll take Cityscape Leveler. That was pick 8, I believe. So we're going to start to see our wheel cards here and see if we're an idiot or a genius. And, yeah, we'll see what wheels, we'll see what's in the packs. Hopefully we've gone in a direction where we're not fighting too hard with somebody, but seeing that late of a Cityscape Leveler and, like, Combustible Gear Hulk, it looks like people aren't super duper interested in ramping. Meteor Golem's, like, okay payoff. I'd rather play this if I had Blink effects. The World Tree is ambitious, but it does fix mana eventually. I think I just take Rexage here. There are a lot of artifacts and enchantments that I can blow up, and I'm happy to do it. And Reclamation Sage stays on board and provides a blocker to hopefully let us continue to ramp. So, happy enough with the Reclamation Sage there. Lush Portico is decent in terms of a Surveil land is solid, but I think we're just going to take Thrill Eruption. This is what I was kicking around as the take when we were looking at the pack initially. So that was versus Azusa's Many Journeys. So I'm happy to see that this in fact wields. So it looks like people aren't too keen on red right now in the pod. So that's pretty nice. Nice to end up in Cube. Things can shift pretty drastically and things can change pretty quickly. I'm going to put this in the board because I don't know as though we're going to want this per se, because we're not going to have a ton of characters to back up outside of itself, obviously, but it's ambitious for removal. But if I need to play it, I certainly will. But it's always nice in pack 1 to go, and there's the Escape to the Wilds we wanted. This is perfect. It's tough to evaluate, and you can always get wherever you need to go, and things change pretty quickly, a lot more than they do in typical Limited with signals. But I think we're seeing kind of everything we really want to see here, right? Like, I think I'll take Jingatha here. This is a ramper, but it's not the best ramper, and we certainly won't be able to companion. Most likely, because we already have a Combustible Gear Hulk. I would start that probably. The Spider. Okay. Buried in the Garden is an exile effect. Those are always useful. Halana and Elena are really strong 4-drops, but we're not like playing a lot of early creatures where they tend to be at their best. Not to say that I wouldn't still play them. Primal Might is a solid enough removal spell if you can get it to work. I don't think we need the Cataracts that badly. Temple's not for us. So this is a rough pack. This is definitely a rough opening pack. We have the Uprising, which is okay to help give us blockers a lot of the time, but we're not going to have that many permanents because we're trying to ramp. And again, it's Cube, it's pack 2. I can certainly change. I think I'm just going to take Halana and Elena because it's the strongest card in our lane, quote-unquote. So I'll see if I can pick up more in the way of creatures in the early part of the game. We'll see. This is a very black and white pack, it appears. We do have a Decadent Dragon, but Expensive Taste, while being good, is a black effect. Probably just taking Prismatic Vista. I didn't even realize that was in here because of the art in the card. But that's great. I don't know what this Cornucopia does. Whenever you cast a spell that's one or more colors, you may gain 1 life for each of that spell's colors. And it taps for a color. See, as another fixer, I'd be happy enough to add this to my deck if it wheeled. Let me see what this does real quick. Add 1 mana of any color. Tap sack. It was a treasure, okay. Oh, okay, I remember this card. Yeah, I was considering this for the Pauper Cube. Okay. Yeah, I think it's Prismatic Vista here. Fetch out a basic is just fine with me. Shatterskull Smashing is solid. Titan of Industry is solid. Tribal Flames, probably not for us. Right now we have a Prismatic Vista. We're not really doing... Oh, Mystic Snake got a huge art upgrade. Look at that. That's cool. This is an oldie, if you're not familiar. Invasion Block. So these are opposing colors, right? So this would have been Apocalypse. Opposing colors, right? Blue and green. Because white's on one side of blue. Green's down, right? Not crazy. Shatterskull Smashing versus Titan of Industry. I like the Shatterskull Smashing because it can take a land slot and make sure we hit our land drops in a deck that's looking to play something closer to 18 land. This is pretty nice for us. Like, just being able to play normal 17 lands and have the Smashing means we have 18 land. Titan of Industry is a messed up card, but I think I want the Shatterskull Smashing because of the flexibility it offers in the deck. I don't really want that. Atali's not the greatest. Anything that has to attack in Cube is obviously susceptible to being removed before it can do so, and that's always tricky. I guess we just take the Blazing Sky here. Could be Augur of Autumn. You may play lands from the top. Yeah, let's take Augur of Autumn. It's cheap. I think we're at this point more green than we are... No, we're dead even. Okay. Doubling Season, not for us. Rotisserie, not exactly for us either. Casualty of War, certainly not for us. Bonnie Paul, because of the pips, if it were just a single blue, I could consider trying to splash Bonnie Paul. But considering it's a double blue pip, I'm not super duper into that. Goodness gracious. Not much here for us. Not where we want to be. Like an off-color Surveil land, if we want to potentially splash a blue card, could be useful. Probably, honestly, more useful than taking a Rotisserie Elemental. So, I'm going to do that and put it in my board for now, but if we want a blue source, we have one. Mana Confluence, not at its best in a ramp deck, because you're going to end up tapping it a lot of times and losing a lot of life. Nissa is decent, for sure. Could take Hedge Maze, again, to back up that blue splash. Slicer, not exactly where I want to be. Yeah, I'll take Nissa here over Tooth and Nail. Tooth and Nail is a very big card, but we don't have two cards that are specifically tutorable and that synergistic to where Tooth and Nail is just a combo. 2 creatures combo. Nissa on 3 versus Solemn on 4. Solemn draws a card. Nissa lets you kind of Lotus Cobra. I don't know as though we have an elemental. Well, it looks like we have one elemental. So there's some upside there. Could just take Solemn. Our 4-drop's pretty light. Our 3-drop's a little heavier. I'm going to do that just for curve reasons. We have one other 4 with Halana and Elena. And I don't mind Solemn. Solemn comes in, does his job, and gets you value. And that's kind of what we're looking to buy turns, right? Could take Crackle with Power. This is, again, a big payoff card for ramping. but it's slow. Like, drawing too many of these slow ramp cards is really a way to lose a game of Magic pretty quickly. 2 blue-black lands and a lot of white cards. I'll take the Crackle just because it's on color, but I'm really hoping I don't have to play it. And this didn't have a whole lot for us here, but Primal Might's a gift this late, certainly. We need some more cheap creatures. Like, I'm a little concerned with our creature count being 10 this late into things, but I want to, yeah, I'm hoping we can find some ramp. I'm trying to think of cards that I'd really want to see. It'd be more cheap ramp in the vein of Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Visionary, things like that. Things that get us value, can block, and can ramp would be great. And it is worth noting there was a Craterhoof impact one that did not wheel. So we do have to be on the lookout for that. Buried Treasure probably is fine, but not great. But that's better than just about anything else in the pack for us, which looks to be very heavy black. But that pack was very heavy black to begin with. So black sometimes in these cubes is great, sometimes is not, and it can sometimes support multiple drafters, and sometimes you're barely scraping by hoping things get in the pod. Black's been really a color I think they've struggled with through the lifetime of the cube. Could take Surok, but again, I think we have enough. I'll take Palladium Mirror. I don't know if this is a card I want to start just because mana ramp that's vulnerable to creature removal is not my favorite thing ever. Our 4 situation is a little precarious, so I'll take Atsushi. I don't know how to say it, but this card is cool. From one of my favorite sets, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. This set was just so much fun to draft. It dies and makes treasure, so I can't say it's off-brand, right? I'll take the green card just to help kind of typify that green is closed. Don't jump into it. But I prefer not to play any of that. Wormcoil Engine here. Choops, my boy. Zeator's Proving Grounds, a green-red land, excuse me. Also, obviously, black. Professional Facebreaker can give us treasure. I think it's probably just Wormcoil, though. Like, we kind of don't have a 6 outside of Combustible Gear Hulk. Yeah, I'll take Wormcoil. It's not the strongest card. It's not what it used to be. But it's still Wormcoil Engine. Sack the Wormcoil, make tokens, keep getting it back with Portal of Phyrexia. That's a good strategy, right? Still good. Still good. Alright. Warrior. It's like these 4-drops. Selvala pretty good. All we have is Anissa, so like Immortal Sun's interesting, but like coming down a little late. I think Selvala is probably the right card. Could also be the pathway just for more mana fixing. Right now we have a Prismatic Vista to fix our mana. It's interesting. Maybe we wheel the path. I don't know which one's more. It's in my head. I'm trying to toss around which one's more likely to wheel. But that's the problem with not having a lot of reps in Cube as well, is I don't know, truthfully. Like, I don't know which one's going to wheel. So then it's me asking which one is the more valuable card, truthfully, overall. Here it's an easy Incubation Druid, I think. Super late Lurrus. Sad if anybody... I love... This is a great card to open because you can build around. It's really hard to build around and hope it shows up. A little too scary. But I think Incubation Druid's a solid pickup here. There's a ton of great cards that can wheel in this pack. Big Score, Xenagos, Cavalier, Hydra, all happy to have them. I'd even take a Hedron Archive most likely, just because cards. But here I need that 2-drop accelerant, right? Like, look at my 1s and 2s are just so anemic, and that's really can make or break you in these kind of games. I don't know. Chromatic Cube tends to be bigger, more grandiose stuff. But you have to set up a good early game in order to get to that big grandiose stuff. So it's really important. Treasure Map is a little slow, but so is this deck. There's an Emrakul, which is a cool card. I don't know Brass's Tunnel Grinder. That's a lot of hoops. A little few too many for me. Looks like it could be sweet, but... I'm going to get blown out by these cards like Urgent Necropsy that I just don't know what they do. It's like, oh, I'm going to lose to that, huh? I guess I'll take the Emrakul here. It's a toughie. Toughie. Corsair Crewfix is decent. It can keep us alive. Garruk Relentless is like kind of removal. And I don't know the Cactus Folk very well. 5/5 for 5. To be in your end step. Non-land cards in your hand. Perpetually gain the spell cost. Oh, that's a really unique way to ramp for like a digital format. Oh, that's cool. I don't hate that. It's the cost is what's pushing me more towards Corsair Crewfix. Our 3 is glutted, I guarantee it. Yeah, our average mana cost is going to be high, right? But you can see the number of 3s that are there. It's a lot. Okay, Atraxa is solid, but we're not going to cast that because of the color issues that we face. Ketria Triumph is a multicolor land. Temple of Abandon is a multicolor land. Fight with Fire is a solid removal card. We have 2 lands, right? I think we're safe to just take a land here. I love Fight with Fire, and this would definitely be a good deck for it because of the mana. So being able to kick it would be kind of negligible. But fixing that late is kind of a gift. I think take Hornet Queen here. We're going to have to pick our top-end battles, but Hornet Queen is such a unique thing to do at the top end of your curve, and it's fitting in right now where it looks like we're missing a card outside of potentially Nissa. So it gives us a couple good 6s and a 7 and then an 8 and a 9, and we'll decide how we want to go about Emrakul or not. Likely not, because we just aren't going to be good at getting the cost down, but it can just come down and win a game, just full stop. Like, Emrakul, win the game. That's interesting. I think I just take Magda here. Being able to ramp is pretty good. Okay. So red-green land, I'm happy to take Zeator's Proving Ground here, I think, over pretty much anything else. Pantalanza. Interesting name. The spider's weird. I don't know if we need it. Wish this was not black removal left in the pack. It's a cool card. I'll take the Immortal Sun. I don't think we're going to play it, though. Green-black land, not for us. Xenagos is a cool card. Yeah, we'll take Xenagos. I have definitely used this pretty effectively in Commander a lot of times. Take the Tunnel Grinder. Again, don't think I'm going to start that. A little few too many hoops for what we're doing here. I don't think Atsushi's going to make it, despite the lack of 4s on my curve. 5s are both... Jingatha, do we need you? Can't be spent to... Yeah, the generic, like, restriction... Garrick's pretty good, actually, on 4. We'll see. Burn in the House, Keep the Wild is really good. Jetmir's Garden, another dual land for us. Getting a lot of the red-green lands here, and we end on a Dragon Skull. Some not the worst deck ever. It's very singularly focused, which means it can be very singularly beaten if someone realizes our strategy. So, that's a little problematic. Is there a draft going on, or is this an error? Oh, that's fun. I've never had this error happen on Arena before. Can I hit that? Your next pick will be... Yeah, how about that? See what happens. I don't know how you fix that. Resume my draft. Okay, build my deck. Okay. A little bit of a hiccup there. I haven't started Arena in a long time, so. The bad news is it popped all the cards back into our deck, so all that extra little work I did to save us time is undone, but that's okay. Welcome to Arena. Not my first rodeo on here. Rexage, Algarvadum, Courser, I think are all good. Sylvalas. I don't know about that Spider. I don't know about Mirror. I'm still not 100% on the Celestis yet. Something we want that. These three are fine enough, at least for the first run through here. I don't think we want this. I don't think we want Emrakul. So Celestis is interesting. Pop this up here and take a look at our creatures and see what we can do here. Elvish Mystic, Golvein, Hydra, both good. Magda, Journeys, Incubation Druid are kind of needed. The many Journeys is needed, I think. If we have to hope to play lands, and I do want to get to the 17 lands with the Shatter Skull Smashing being my 18th land, so I would like to play 18 lands in this deck for sure. Augur of Autumn. I mean, we can definitely set up some decent ability to Coven. We don't have the most creatures is my biggest concern, and Augur's kind of duplicating Courser's effect without the life gain, so I'll cut there. And I do think I need to cut something from the top end here. Nissa can, like, be a 5. Xenagos might be just too specific considering our lack of creatures specifically, so I think I'm going to do away with Xenagos because we just don't have a lot of creatures, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that Xenagos would really impact. That's not a lot. Halan and Elena, the same argument can certainly be made, but a reach creature that is able to power up it's just kind of free and it forces them to do something, where Xenagos, you can kind of just, we don't have any creatures out because they killed them all, so Xenagos is doing nothing because we have no devotion, and like the floor is much lower on Xenagos than it is on Halan and Elena, in my opinion, and I could be wrong about that. But we'll see how wrong I am as we jump into our first game. Big thanks to you for hanging out through the draft portion. Please, 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 always happy to have comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what we can do better, what you want to change. Is there any other games you want to see? Do you want to see more Magic? Why are you guys not doing as much Magic now? Those kind of things, stick them in the comments. It's how we know. It's how we know what content you want. For real. It really does make a difference. The algorithm is only so powerful. So if you want to see more of this, like, hey, I enjoyed this idiot rambling about his deck, and I don't play Magic a lot either, so it was very relatable. Let us know. We'll make more of that. I'm happy to jump on to more of these as things progress. I'm very excited for Bloomburrow. It's the first Magic set I can say I'm excited to check out in a long time. Like, seriously excited to check it out. Like, I haven't been excited in a while. Like, just didn't care for Eldraine, didn't care for Ixalan, didn't care for Manor, didn't care for I tried Outlaws because it just kind of made me laugh that everything had a cowboy hat on, but I thought it was just a little too on the nose. And this next set looks really exciting. Big Redwall fan from when I was younger. Big fan of Mouse Guard. So, like, this is certainly up my alley. The artwork is stunning. The fact we're getting a new plane is always really cool. I'm definitely excited for it. I think I've had this. So, entering match. I've had this issue before. This same exact problem. So, I'm going to do a quick restart. Apologies for the delay in starting us off here. But let me just close Arena and reopen, because I know that is my diligence as a player to make sure I am constantly starting and stopping and restarting my Magic Arena account, because I'm responsible for the bugs that it as a program has. Apparently, I heard that statement go out. So that's a real thing that was said. Unfortunate, but we'll see. We'll see if we can avoid any more of that moving forward. Again, really appreciate y'all hanging out, and we'll jump into this cube draft here, and hopefully have a good time and not get our butts handed to us too badly. Okay, looks like it fired off. Wonderful. Missing no, 88. I've played original Pokemon. I'm old. I know what that means. Opponents on the play. Proving Ground is like meh, but with Azusa's Many Journeys and 4 lands plus a ramper on 1, I'm pretty into it. We could escape from the... Sweet. Mystic on 1, Azusa's on 2, play an additional land. We could escape to the wilds like as early as turn 3, which is pretty bonkers. We'll see how badly the opponent beats us down while we try to do those things, though. Kill our Elvish Mystic for starters, and then we're turn slower out of the gate. You know. Counter our Zeus's Many Journeys. Kind of stuff. Looks like they have something here. I don't have another play to make, so I'm just going to pop down the Proving Ground. You could argue I could cycle it, right? Because I could have put a basic into play, cycled the Proving Ground, that kind of thing. Right? Because a basic... No, because it would have been basic Elvish Mystic. I wouldn't have had the 3 mana. See, you're wrong. I'm wrong. Can't rely on my ability to do math to get me through this game, certainly. A clue in their main phase. Interesting. Okay. I think now's as good a time as any to do this. How did Dragon's go? Oh, because it put every land in. I didn't even catch that. I'll have to fix that after this game. Okay, that's not the biggest of deals. I'm a little worried about green because we're so heavy green. Grab that up real quick. And we're going to save the opponent a little bit of time there by just kind of, did you do your thing? The old F6. If you're really old and played Moto, or still do. I'm not that old. But yeah, just see what they have here in their Grixis deck. A lot of ways this could go kind of belly up on us, but that's okay. Looting the Portal Phyrexia here is not my favorite thing ever, but we do have some high-end payoffs. Next turn we can Wormcoil Engine, even if they take care of Elvish Mystic. Like, if that's their turn, take care of Elvish Mystic because they're stuck on lands, that's really good for us. Okay. Play Dragon Skull Summit. I do think we want to get down Courser. So Courser Solvala will probably... Could Courser Magda. I guess that's probably better, honestly. I can't, unfortunately, take too much advantage of the Courser for that. And a little disappointing to see, to be honest. Okay, opponent found a Midnight Clock. Lana and Helena. Okay. Can't get our Courser of Crufix value, but we can certainly play a Wormcoil Engine. Get the win by Mana Screw if we get there. Always feels a little bad. But opponent can certainly fire back. They're coming up on hopefully 5 mana here. That's the start of red board wipes. Burn Down the House won't get it done on the Wormcoil Engine, though. Black board wipes as well, of course. Yeah. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's exactly lethal. Sorry about that, opponent. That was not any kind of testament to my prowess, but we ramped. So we had that going for us. Oh, I forgot to make the fix for the Dragon Skull Summit already. I'm so bad. That's why I always have a co-host typically when I stream. I'm so bad. Oh my god. Oh, this is rough, truthfully. Lutri? Ugh. I hate all this. Like, our first real play not being until turn 3 seems completely untenable. Yeah, keep 6, put back the portal, I guess. I mean, it's still not good. Like, I gotta get rid of this stuff. Oh, well. The Surveillance is not the worst thing in the world to see here, honestly. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll put down the Proving Ground in that case. I won't screw around with the weird Surveil land. But yeah, we need to get this stuff out. I need to remember pretty badly. If you're not familiar with the whole Superliminal gang, we have a video here every Thursday on YouTube. And we stream every Sunday on Twitch. The stream is live at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Do I not get to do that? This is 2 more lands? I thought this was a surveilled land. I thought that was a surveilled land. So here's what I know. See if they deal with my Elvish Mystic. If so, that's not the worst. We're going to use the Bronze Walrus. I'm not big on these mana fixers that are susceptible to creature removal, personally. But opponents definitely stunting on us. They're doing way more than we are, and we don't get to do much here. So we're just going to play the Rex Age here and blow up which thing? I guess the Bronze Walrus. Right? Doesn't have anything else. Yes, please. Make sure it didn't have ward or something weird like that. Sure. Gotcha. The way our deck works, it's unlikely that like 1 point of damage will matter. But so we'll have to. We're still behind pretty badly. Escape to the Wilds here will be all right. Wasn't expecting to kind of see this outside of like the early opening, but looks like they're just kind of 5 colors. And the Lutri was really the big one. Not that it's not free to Lutri, it's just a free card whenever you need it. But I was expecting more of a spells style deck. We do have to put this into play as a land, and I will pay 3 life, and I will escape to the wilds. Okay, we did hit a land, which I'm happy to see. Hit quite a few, actually. Yeah, I'll take the Scry here. Push that to the bottom, because we'll have a land drop next turn off of the escape to the wilds. So then we have Combustible Gear Hulk coming down, which is kind of cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 with the Mystic. Yeah, I'll just throw a block in front of the Cavalier. It doesn't have Trample, it has Reach, so I'll save 5 life. Is essentially what I'm up to there. Ren and 7. I know this card's good, but I can't remember exactly what it does. Makes the tree focus the big one typically. Yeah. Makes sense. 6/6. I think we want to play untap land here almost no matter what. We could Gold Vein Hydra. Burn down the house is kind of nice here. It's not the nicest. We could attack Ren and 7, let them block with the 6/6, and then try to burn down the house to take care of the tree folk. In I believe Ren and 7 as well. And then the Likeness of the Seeker, leaving them with 2 cards. It's not the worst play ever. Could also, because I like the Gold Vein too. I like this. Yeah, I guess I'm going to go ahead and try. Oh, didn't want to do that. Next to combat. Next to attacks. I'm going to try this and see if they think something's a little suspect. Nope, they just let Ren and 7 have it. Okay. So then I probably want to burn down the house but make the devils. And end the turn. We lose Garden and Gold Vein, but I think that's kind of the best thing we could do there. I probably screwed that up, though. That's okay. I really didn't suspect them to just be like, I don't care, with the Red and 7. Grenzo. I know this card's pretty messed up. Heist target opponent's library. Once each turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell you cast. What does Heist do? Look at 3 random non-land cards. Okay, that's good against us because we have so many Haymakers. Being able to make them cost 0 is pretty gnarly. Do a 7 block and a 5 block. I think I'll take the 3. Neither of those creatures trample, so we'll just go ahead and take care of Ren 7 here. See what they can do with the Grenzo. Nothing. It appears once each turn. Interesting. Okay. So we could Combustible Gear Hulk. We can't Cityscape Leveler, which is really rough. Feels like we want Worm Coil plus something. We could Gear Hulk. 6/6 first strike does some pretty good work on this board. I think we want Worm Coil, though. The problem is if they deal with Worm Coil, that could be kind of a disaster for us. We'll see. And again, we have a lot of Haymakers at the... okay, Portal to Phyrexia. So they get to cast that for 0. We sacrifice 3 things, and we're done for. Like I said, there's a lot of Haymakers in our deck, so a card like Grenzo is very, very good. I don't even know what this thing does. Okay. We still have the 2 tokens. We can blow up our own Portal of Phyrexia, which is kind of a disaster, truthfully. Death Touch in front of the 7/7, Lifelink in front of the 5/6. Okay. Zeus's Main Journeys is obviously like insanely weak draw for us. The lack of lands has really hurt us as well, so we're going to go ahead and do this. They give us the cards. That shows you how far ahead they are. So we'll give them a good game and head on out to the next one. Grenzo hard to be. Is a card we definitely need to keep on our radar. Is a very, very rough card for us to deal with. I need to go in and fix my lands, because that definitely hurt us that game too, for sure. Prismatic Vista, Garden. I don't know if we want all these tap lands. Like, I'm happy to play one of them, but I probably don't want to play 2. Just want to make sure there's no other, like, surprise mana source I could use to... No, I don't believe so. It's nice to have these because you can play abilities and things that you normally can't. I don't think there's a real decision point there. That can go, that can go, that can go. So we want... Where are we at with 30 to 57? So I think we will take one more... That's good. 6 and 8, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then obviously the Shatter Soul Smashing being the 18th. Apologies for that. But yeah, we are here every Thursday with a new video for you. Some kind of game, some kind of thing we are interested in. Sam and I have been doing a lot of Lorcana. Jared's been doing a lot of Star Wars related content, and Dan has been doing a lot of Star Wars Unlimited, specifically the new card game, and some other Marvel Snap and related. Paul's been doing indie games. There's a lot of things to see here if you want to just keep us on the subscription list. You never know. Worth checking out when we do one. If not, it's easy enough to ignore it. So it's got a curve. Double tap lane's a little rough, but I think we keep it. If we have to Royal Eruption fast, we will. Oh, that's nice. Alright, so never mind. We'll go with the Druid here out of the gate. It's not the best thing ever, but we'll see if we draw an untapped lane. We kind of did, but we don't need it. I don't think we want Mountain here, and I'm just going to hit for 1. And then we have an untapped land and a tap land if we so choose. Wreck Sage if they try to put out an artifact or enchantment accelerant. Okay. Like this. I don't know what this does. They have a 3/3 beast token. I think we just probably blow that up though. Because I just don't want to have to deal with that. And I think we'll just play the Proving Ground tapped here. Next turn we can Solemn. Either way, either paying 3 life or not. No blocks here. They have us for 3. Sweet art on this token, by the way. Choops to blow up Elvish Mystic. Like I said, we have Solemn either way here, so that's nice for us. We will pay the 3 life. We will play a Solemn. And I think we'll just get green here. And no attacks. Gives us the ability to block a Chupacabra. I don't know how in I am for double block on a beast token. With this mana up could represent a counter spell, so going down to no board is rough. But I guess we do because I get to draw a card and I kind of need land here. I need land and I need spells. So I'm in a position where I'll take what I can get, I think, truthfully. Goldvein Hydra's good. Good curve. But again, all their mana's untapped, so it's like a little rough. Azusa's Many Journeys is not exactly where I want to be. This would tap me out. This would tap me out. Royal Eruption would not. We could Azusa's plus Royal Erupt on the Chupacabra, just to give them no board, but they could flash something in, obviously, so that's a little rough. Like, this card's good, but it's just like the odds of them having something with all this mana up seems insane to me, so I think we're just going to run with the plan. So we'll start with Azusa's Many Journeys. And they let that go. And we'll go ahead and tag the Chupacabra. If they want to counter that here, that's okay. Okay, looks like it might be a flash creature then. No, just nothing. Okay. Rona. So next turn I'm a lot more apt to want to just jam, right? So I think we'll do this because this is a tough thing for them to deal with. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'll just pay the mana. And we'll create the big token. And we'll see what they can do. Now it looks like they have a destroy effect here in black, which makes sense. We still got an 8/8 out of the deal. I'm not sad about it. It would have been the same with the Hydra, right? Like, that's totally fine. Let's see what they surveil. So it gives us an 8/8 and a 3/3 with the ability to, like, Portal Phyrexia if they start to fill up their board a little bit. Looks like they're more into value creatures and things, but, like, there's some good stuff to get back, potentially, out of the graveyards here. Chupacabra being probably the top of the heap. Whereas, again, just totally untapped. I think we just play this Knucklehead here. Be 7 mana. 6 mana would let us play our incubation. Or 5 mana would be 6 total. 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. So maybe play it as a 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. Big enough to get by Rona. Vigilance, Trample, and Haste is like a whole bunch of keywords that you don't want to see on one card. That is for sure. May have a removal here for the 8/8. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Okay, Sublime Epiphany to do a bunch of things. We'll play out our Incubation Druid here then. One card I should have had on my radar because that's been around for quite a long time. But it just kind of looks like they're like largely farting around, not doing a whole lot, so that's not bad for us. Yep, we need to draw a land here and just take 5. So it's whenever a source deals damage. No blocks, you got me. Could block with Incubation Druid, but okay, land was good. Some anemic creatures to get back, but the Chupacabra being able to answer one of their threats immediately is nice. And we can kind of just death by 1,000 cuts with some small creatures like Druid and Likeness. They are green. They look to be everything but red. So they should be able to answer a Portal to Phyrexia here. 3 cards in hand. Seems likely. They have nothing to Rex Sage, so I'm not super interested in that. I'm just going to get Solemn here. Let's just get Forest. Prismatic Vista, not exactly where we want to be. I'll grab red here. Doesn't so much matter at this point. Colors aren't going to be the thing that bog us down. I'd rather give the opponent the ability to do their thing. Meat Hook, Massacre. So we get to draw a card here. My graveyard. So now there's a Reclamation Sage target. So while it's not super powerful on its own, you gain haste, okay. And we'll hold the Escape to the Wilds here. Might not be able to answer the Portal. Might get us there. I mean, a card's strong is why we picked it, right? So being able to kind of demonstrate, even with 2 graveyards that aren't loaded with just absolute bombs, being able to have the flexibility of like, oh, okay, I'll get this back and blow this up, I'll get this back and destroy this, I'll get this, like, you get a good choice every turn, right? We can get Valuable Solemn, we can use Chupacabra to blow up these creatures, like, this is all really good stuff, you know? I'll blow up this thing, because it looks like it does things. I'll go ahead and do this now. That's crazy. And play Garrick. That's about the best possible thing that could happen there. And now they're down to 3, so a board wipe would kill them because of the Devils. So they're in trouble. They have an active Planeswalker. We have a smattering of small creatures. We have 2 giant things they don't even know about waiting in the wings next turn off of Escape from the Wilds. So I'd say we're in an okay spot here. Or Escape to the Wilds. It's not from, it's to. You gotta escape to that wild. It's very storybook. You escape from the scary cottage into the wilds. Scholar of Lost Trove is a strong card. They're going to pile on. Destroying their own Scholar. Okay. They just wanted to show me the last card in their hand. These are the things I don't like. And I'm going to be a little nitpicky and maybe a little negative for a minute, but value your opponent's time. That's why I activated my Prismatic Feast. I didn't leave it for my opponent to, I'm going to respond with my Prismatic Feast. Sometimes you want to hold that effect, right? Because you actually want to do something and you want those triggers. But if you don't, this deck is big, dumb, big stuff. I'm not going to want to hold the trigger most of the time. So just be respectful of somebody's time. Play the Lost Scholar so I can look around in my graveyard, which I should already have a pretty good beat on, and know there's nothing there, and then just lose the game. It just value other people's time. Be decent. We're just playing a game here. This is a good keep for us. I wish this were a Wormcoil engine. Other than that, though, no complaints, no notes. I think we want more land, so I won't jam the Vista right away. I'm just going to run out the Mystic. Next turn, irrespective of what happens to the Mystic, I'll probably just end up Incubation Druid. It seems odd they would play something I'd want to Rex Sage right away. But possible, but doesn't seem likely. Opponent leads on. That's the untapped. Okay. Conditional untapped. That's a basic land specifically, so that's still fine. So yeah, we'll just run on Incubation Druid here. Boop. Tapped out, so there's no reason not. I won't put this at risk if I fear a flash creature, because I just don't have a good beat on the format, so I'll lose out on a point of damage a lot of times to not get got by like a 2 or 3 mana flash creature that I just didn't know existed in the format. Because why risk it? This deck is so big and like big, nasty, crazy stuff that it's like odds are high. Okay, so this doesn't do anything for a little while other than is 2/2. Activate Vista. I think we just, on the whole, want green most of the time. And it's just a legendary creature, so we'll go ahead and run this out. That'll let us continue to ramp. Here with the Elvish Mystic so far, I'll take a red source here, keep things balanced and even. No reason not to. Cityscape was really nice. We're a little too far from Cityscape, but next turn I could activate Incubation Druid end of turn, and then have enough to Cityscape or Portal to Phyrexia dependent. Which is nice. It's a good game. It gives me a game plan to progress through the game, right? And a deck like this, it's really important to have that because we're not tricky. We don't have a lot of options or flexibility. We're kind of doing one specific thing, and it's ramping to something big and trying to overwhelm the opponent like we did the last game where they couldn't answer the Portal of Phyrexia. Just like, I hope this is strong enough. It represents a lot of cards in its strength, singular strength of card. Okay, you got it. Yeah, it makes sense to go after the mana ramp. Garruk Relentless is pretty good here. Stuck on mana with our 18 land deck is a little frustrating, I will say, but less is life. At least I drew a playable, right? Like, that's the key. Yep. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Take out Plarg. They're just going to show off that they have... Oh, Sublime Epiphany. Okay, so they're struggling for lands as well. Again, flash creatures notwithstanding, or haste creatures notwithstanding in this case, I do want an Elvish Mystic blocker to protect my Garruk. If I can start putting out Death Touch Wolves, that's really beneficial. Obviously, red has a ton of ways to deal damage to Planeswalkers, so I don't have high hopes of Garruk surviving, but I do like the concept of being able to protect Garruk if their only answer is a haste creature that doesn't have trample. So that was the idea of not getting him 1 extra damage. And like I said, my ignorance also comes into play because I'm just not 100% on everything. I'm just thinking broad strokes, what can affect me here? And that's the rationale there behind not attacking with the Elvish Mystic. Could move Lutri here if they have nothing else to do. They're hovering over the Solemn, so you'd like to believe they have something, but if it damages a creature, a lot of times in Modern Magic, it also deals damage to a Planeswalker too. Okay, command. Okay. Yes, please. Okay, that was... I like those draws where they're good. So let's create a wolf. Let's play Combustible Gearhulk. Likely they don't give me the cards in this position. Okay, and they take 5. We lose out on 2 land and a Nissa. Gonti. Okay. Tapped land. Primal Might was excellent. Then it fights, so... We can fight Gonti for nothing with the wolf. Is there a benefit to doing nothing? Let me think this through real quick. No. And we're not at -3 yet. This time I'll attack with both. Do I want to play a Naked Rexage? I don't think so. We'll see what they can do here. They have one of our cards from Gonti, and that's still fine with Gonti Night Out. They can still play it. Or cast it, I believe. Gonti's worded cast because it's a little bit older. Yeah, cast, yep. So lands are no good, but any non-land card can be played. So we'll see. And we have Haymakers, so... Yep, burn down the house. 3 Devils. So we want to get our Garruk value here because of the damage that can be dealt. So we'll plus Garruk here. So let's see if I can activate this effectively. You may deal X damage divided as you choose. I can do 3, 4, 2. It's only 2 Devils. Probably isn't worth it here. We'll send the gang and see what they want to do. So likely they're going to take out a blocker. So you have to throw 1 damage here to the unblocked wolf. Nope, the untapped wolf. Why would they have not done that? Don't do that now. Oh. A little bit of damage they could have avoided there. Do I want this as a land? Can I do this to creatures and or planes? Alright, that was the first thing. I was like, wait, am I an idiot and this can do players? No, that'd be insane. We'll do enters tapped here. I'll protect Garruk. Yeah, I'll protect Garruk. I mean, if they're going to attack Garruk, that's insane anyway. So, it's another lethal threat in this case. Six, so we're 2 mana off. Being able to Cityscape Leveler. Not a fan of Oracle of the Alpha. Especially like this late in the game. It's a blocker, certainly. Do I have like a Blaze effect? Search your library for a creature card. I could put it down to 3 to search for a creature that does something. I guess that's my best bet. Because this is going to die to the Devil Trigger anyway. 6, Helena Elena, Magda, Goldvein Hydra. That could come down as a 5/5 here. Pending any interaction from the opponent. I guess that's the best choice. So the trample is going to be the big issue for them, right? From the Goldvein Hydra, yeah. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can just win. And arguably could have done that a turn or 2 sooner if need be. But I think we were in an okay spot there. Opponent seemed to be back-footed, but Oracle of the Alpha just seems like a strange choice there, shuffling. I know it shovels powerful cards in, but mana wasn't their issue, so 6 of those powerful cards are all mana-based cards. Like, right there, they were just hoping to top deck, what, Time Twister? Like, that's the best card you could draw, basically. The rest are just like, I mean, Ancestral's Ancestral and Time Walk's Time Walk. Those are the 3. But it's like, what was their best play there? Probably the draw 7 in the hopes they drew one of the other 2 very powerful cards, right? Minkskin Boo. Oof, it's a very slow hand. I just don't know if this does enough. This is better-ish. Better adjacent. We gotta put back Portal Phyrexia, but we'll keep 6. I can't go down to 5 here, I don't believe. Play the Mystics, see what they do. We've been very, very lucky. Opponents have been letting the Mystics survive for a while. I don't think it's the most impactful card in Cube, because even for us, it doesn't ramp us the most effectively. Now, if we draw something like Celestis, it's done its work. Meticulous Archive. Forest, I think. We will attack, and we'll play out the Temple of Abandon. Get that out of the way. Get that out of the way, certainly, and pass the turn. Red means Elvish Mystic most assuredly going down here. Yep, Trouble Flames for 2 damage. Okay, this is good. This means we're on target to still accelerate into the Nissa here, which I like. You'll see if they could have counter magic here. Seems very likely in a Jeskai style deck. They're considering in their main phase is interesting. I wonder why. Okay. That just auto resolves. Okay, cool. Looks like they have a response here. Some kind of damage-based spell. Okay, that kind of did it all. Cards in hand damage, yeah. We're going to struggle here. If they answer this Halana and Elena and we draw like a land, for example, probably just pick it up. Oh, Solemn's decent. I guess we still jam the Halana and Elena here. Okay, that got through. That was a cleaner turn for us. But that's why we took Halana and Elena, right? Like, it doesn't exactly serve the deck's purpose specifically, but it's just such a strong card. Like, next turn we can play Solemn, pump it up, and hit them, potentially, right? Okay, they have an answer. Not a surprise. Opponent seems to be pretty, wow. Double answer? That's a little disheartening for sure. Down to 3 cards, though, which is nice to see. We'll take Forest. Royal Eruption 4, 5, 6. We'll see if they have a play. This seems like they're probably like an Oracle of the Alpha style deck. A lot of value, spells, removal, things like that. So, we'll see. Takes a lot to kick a Royal Eruption, but we're almost there. Cycling. Wow. In their main phase again. Interesting. Hoping to just draw like, not a land, something we could cast. I mean, pretty straightforward, I think. Sure. I don't get any bonus for this, but... could have blink elements to the deck, so there definitely could be an argument to hitting Blade Splicer itself versus the Golem that it made. But this allows me to attack, and I don't know what's going to be the right move here. We'll find out. Definitely feels like they could be playing blink-based cards. I think I just pass here. I don't love giving them cards and an opportunity to answer me, but I would like to see them do something. And at least use some of their mana, as opposed to playing a bird, something as powerful as Bird Down the House into just fully open mana. Like, this is kind of what I mean, right? Like, they're looking for something. They could crack this clue here. Like, now they're going down a little bit and a little bit, so the counterspells aren't as strong as something like a Sublime Epiphany would be, for example. I'm not sure what the egg does. I don't remember. I know it flips into something pretty terrifying. Oh, that's tempting. I think we just get proactive here. The fact we can play both the lands here is pretty good. Opponent gets a turn of reprieve here. Not a ton of cards in hand. We'll see what they can do. But I think being able to go up cards there is really powerful for us. More so than, like, Make 3 Devils would be. Make 3 Devils is fine. Like, they can attack. The Smoldering Egg's a little frustrating in that regard. But it's like, they doesn't disincentivize an attack per se. But now we have the Goldvein Hydra, which is really nice. Going for a Rip Apart on the... We're going to play that. Okay, so that wants us to burn down the house, I think. Like, just wipe their board here. So we'll see what they do here. They get cards or they get mana. It's their choice. Cards seem like the better choice here. Dismiss and Electrostatic Blast are pretty easy to play around. So we can make this a 4/4. They can't dismiss it, which is really nice. Until the end of your next turn. So they will not be able to dismiss anything here, which is really nice. And we have a Hornet Queen as a follow-up. So they already have to answer the Goldvein Hydra, which is nice. And then follow up, you have to answer the Hornet Queen, is tough. So we'll see if this is a little too much muscle for them to overcome. It's going to be close. Looks like they're digging around in their graveyard here. So it could be Sphinx. Nothing super duper strong. They have 4 of the... So they're doing the blast to our head. Not to... As to not lose value. And then Snap. Okay, Snap makes sense. But, is it the... Yeah, I'm confused now. I'm confused as to why the Hydra didn't come down. Okay, so they're going to tribal the Hydra. Oh, because it's clean answer, right? Clean. And then they can play none of these, it appears. So we have the treasure now. Okay, they've... Oh, did they have a third? Okay, I didn't even see that. Okay. Not the greatest for us, but we'll go ahead and play out Hornet Queen. I'll hold the land here as to represent something else. We're at 12. It just seems like they have to answer this or die in the air. This is exactly lethal. Nothing flies. And they got the play with fire. Squeak and fill up a board. I think it's pretty easy to answer Snapcaster and just have them dead. In 2. Okay. I'll play Selvala here as a blocker. Obviously, when they take out Snapcaster there, it's the most damage, and they can't just get it back like they can with Squee. They have plenty of graveyard to do so. Okay. It's a big burst. Okay, cool. Got him. Weren't able to overcome our big cards. Good deal. That escape to the wilds was really, really good there. a clutch time to have that card for sure. It's just so powerful if you're playing those colors, and you don't mind the fact that it's. I mean, there's a lot of things working against it, right? Like it's sorcery speed, but I was like, if you're doing what we're doing in this style of deck, it's just such a beat. It can be so strong. It's rare you get card advantage in red and green like that. Red more so nowadays as things get more into the exile and you can cast it until your next turn. Red seeing a lot more card advantage than it ever has. So, boof. Oh, his hand, yeah, got him all again. It's a shame because there's some cards we like, but keep 6, put back, I guess, Gear Hulk. The double red, we may never get there, so we'll see. This is like a million turns away as well, but at least it's green. So to me, those were very similar cards in that regard. It's our third time playing against a Lutri deck. And we'll boop them. They only have colorless mana out with the Grotto there. Paradise Druid, jealous. Trade. Guarantee your Paradise Druid's more valuable than my Elvish Mystic right now. Hydrid Krasis for 2. Okay, red was a good one. I think we just make 3 devils here. I just don't think we want to whiff on this turn. Now, this could be a play, like a game-losing play. They can't block, realistically, because we could blow up their Paradise Druid, and they would lose their ramp. But that could be a pretty key turn, and we could definitely end up citing that as the reason I lost the game there. Get the Hydroid Krasis out of here. They're going to take some time to brainstorm. See if they have a shuffle effect or they end up locking themselves. This is a tough card to play because there's just not as much shuffle effect as there is like something in the Vintage Cube, where this just ends up being a lot of the time like draw 1. Man, Bonnie Paul's going to be very hard to beat. We have the Hornet Queen here. So I think we have to go down that road first because of Bonnie Paul. We'll see what they do here, though. It does have reach, but that's okay. Yeah, I have a blocker. That's about what I can do with it. Okay. A lot of mana up. That is Sublime Epiphany mana, I will point out. I guess I'll try to Zeus as many journeys. If that gets Sublime Epiphanied, I kind of don't care. It's not great because of Hornet Queen, right? Like, they get the counter spell and make a Hornet Queen, and that's what's going to kind of be the mess here. It looks like it's a Sublime Epiphany. Oh, I don't even remember what this thing does. Oh, that is fine. That doesn't do anything to me. Okay. We'll grab Mountain here. Tapped. Bonnie, Paul. Okay. It sets him back, it gives us plays, and we'll see what we draw. Right now, Hornet Queen is our path to victory, plus obviously the Hornets. They're manually tapping a lot. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may exile a non-land card from them. If you do, it becomes plotted. So they get to cast it now the following turn. Okay. That's not good for us, I will point out. I think that's obvious to most people who saw that go. They probably know the artwork. Okay. So haste. Trample. Okay. And we get to draw 3 cards. Unless they have a counterspell. I have a spell swindle. Okay. Use that to consider. Yeah, that's rough. This gains life how? Okay. They gain a life from Azusa. Yeah, they're going to stun on us pretty good with that. So the spell swindle is pretty rough. The hope is they don't commit too many things to the board that are creatures, because we still get them with the portal here. And they're really cycling hard. Clever Impersonator to get the Hornet. Yeah, that's kind of a disaster for us, to be honest. It's not the worst. Like, this obviously is an insanely good card. If they have another big counterspell here, that's game over, but yeah, good game. I don't think we can win this one. I think the fact they just had 2 key counters where they needed them. We have the Nissa, so I'll keep fighting, but it's going to be hard to win, for sure. So they can have a Lutri if they want it. That's all we see that they do. Trample whenever another creature, whenever Voltborn Tyrant dies, if it's not a token, create a token copy of it, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. I'll take the hit. I don't know if we can take a hit like that again, but we're banking on the opponent's 1 card in hand not being that good. If it's another counterspell, that's just ridiculous. If it's a Sublime Epiphany, I will scoop. Because they just went like runner, 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 runner on us. I don't know what that does. Yeah, that's good enough. That's close enough to 1 that we can move on. It's just going to be such a mess while they inevitably beat us because they have cards in hand we don't. Needed one of those haymakers to land, and the fact the opponent just kind of had it stopped us in our tracks. I don't think their deck is particularly good for the cube because they're not really good at stopping any of their deck but ours. And they just have to like play a thing and just hope it gets there. It's just like a big version of a Delver deck, and those historically aren't very good in cube. But it definitely is effective against us, who are typically playing 1 very expensive card each turn. This is a tricky one. I guess I'll keep it. A lot rides on the Temple of Abandoned Scry. We have to push Selvala to the bottom because we already have a 3 that finds us mana. So the next 2 draw steps are probably going to be... If I can get 2 land, okay. Now I need to get 2 green source. So if I can get to green source here, we're in okay shape. Okay, we did. We gotta hope that our Courser can chill for a turn here. We have Garrick to take care of their Lotus Cobra, so we just have to hope whatever the play off of Lotus Cobra is, it's not that good. Okay, so it's not a fetch land. That's a good start. Karn. Okay, that's good. 3 damage to a creature, right? I'm just going to give them the commercial district. Creature, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay, I'll play that. So hopefully that slows their ramp down a little bit. And we'll take some counters off of Karn. Next turn we have Halana and Elena plus a Death Touch Wolf. So we'll see if that's good enough to overcome. And then the following turn is potentially Nissa if we can't find something else to play on 5. So they're going to take that commercial district. No, they're taking... Oh, I gave them the Myth Weaver, whatever that is. Equal number of lands you control whenever one or more non-land tokens enter the battlefield under your control. Non-token lands. For each of them, conjure a duplicate. So it's like a super mana ramper, basically. But why take that here? Okay. So let's plus this. Let's play this. This is tricky. Because we do want to answer Karn, but we also need to probably blow up this lantern here. So we're a little off, but we'll do this. Because we kind of need to take care of the Chromatic Lantern. Play this. And go ahead and hit Karn for 2. It's not the most optimal thing we could be doing. Yeah, this is for 0. I'd potentially deal 1, but the Karn Struct cannot now be activated, so... The Myth Weaver can come down. We have a Shatter Skull Smashing to answer that if we so choose. I'll give him Forest over Cultivate. Okay, let's see why that card's quite good. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is what we could do. It's going to be a tricky one still to win, I think, if they have this thing out. They're just going to ramp. They're at 4, 5, 6, so they're going to be able to go to 7, 8 here, and that's when we start to see really big haymakers out of these styles of decks. Right now, our big benefit is we're 3, 4, 5, 6 ourselves. With the Shatter Skull Smashing, we have a potential land on top. Yep, that's bad. So we know they hit Azusa's Many Journeys off of our deck. Don't know what they hit off their deck, though. Armored Scrapquartz. Okay, so 2 pretty anemic cards here. They could play a follow-up card, though, because of the Mythweaver being such a strong card. Oh, no, it's only once per turn? Okay. Okay. None of those cards really do much for us. I think do we start here and try to do that? Do we just play a land and then get Nissa down? Do we have a creature in our deck that does something? That I could sacrifice like a wolf token for, or a Reclamation Sage. I think we'll just keep plussing Garruk. Being able to create these Death Touch Wolves seems pretty good. So then I guess we want to do this. Do we want to Shatter Skull Smashing? Guess. Why? Green sources is a problem for us, isn't it? Okay. I didn't think about that before I played the Shatter Skull Smashing, or else that would have changed my line of play for sure. Trample just on a Tali. Not on this, not on this. We'll make one big wolf here. Do I want to attack with the one big wolf? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I guess so. Their one good attacker is a Tali. And we do need to win the game, right? Like, we don't get points for anything else. And we know they're going up a little bit of life with Azusa here. So 2 Planeswalkers on the board that they kind of need to answer. So Atali's a little dangerous for that reason. So Primeval Tightening to get land. Trying to think of a creature in our deck that can answer some of this. But that Mythweaver is going to be huge. So them finding that off Garruk was, or off Karn, excuse me, was kind of the key to the matchup, it feels like. So they can either get another Scry if the card they choose goes to the bottom. They're tanking on it, so it's not just straight up a land most likely, unless the land's key to their plan. But we are incentivized to try to wipe their board as much as possible. So they're going for another Scry here. 13/13 doesn't mean much against these Death Touch threats. 4 mana available, 5 mana available. To Cavalier, which does 3 damage, I think? Discard draw. Okay. Doesn't do damage. When a Cavalier dies, it deals X damage to each opponent and X number of land cards in your graveyard. 2 at the moment. Each opponent and each Planeswalker. Okay. Noted. So here I do think it probably benefits us to sacrifice something to find something. At least maximize our options. Oh, can I cancel? Because I didn't see the portal on top. Cityscape Leveler's interesting. Hornet Queen is more threats in the air. Yeah, I think Cityscape's going to be our best bet. I think we just have to kill this 14/14 here. It gives us the best opportunity to attack. With Trample, I'm less incentivized to attack with both. The Cityscape Leveler can go in front of the Titan. Yeah, I guess this is probably for the best. This is 13 damage coming in. They're going to 6, so that leads me to believe that they can win the game on their turn. Okay, no Lightning Bolt. Positive. This is like definitely the most unique match we've had yet, because it's kind of a mirror. So you're getting to see a lot of big things just go smack, smack, smack. Which is neat. It's a tough board. These are tough games to navigate because the board state gets so glutted in a lot of the cases. So they can put a shield counter and... Okay, they're going to gain life. Shield counter makes sense here. Oh no, they're destroying Cityscape Leveler. That seems like kind of a disaster for them though, right? Because he unearths again? They have enough mana, they can definitely follow this up with something significant. The Celestis is a pretty weak draw for us. So they're going to pump all their stuff. Okay? So there's no follow-up then in terms of there being a creature. Just get +1/+0 and haste. Okay. So trample on 3 threats. So they're going to take out the Cityscape. Makes sense. Okay. So not as much of a disaster for them this time. They get some mana here. Okay. Okay. So we got to take care of the trample things first. See if we can assign some of them a wolf in addition to a blocker. From there, we just block the largest non-trampling threat, which would be this. I think that's our best block there. I'm not going to dedicate a ton of time and thought into it. They can definitely pump with the Cavalier of Flame multiple more times, so I think they have us. But I don't think there's much else we could have done. We're blocking everything, so. I think we take a decent amount here. 4, 7 is 11 right there, plus all the trample. Yeah. Yeah, I just couldn't get there over the trample. Could have left back the 2 creatures, which would have represented 13. But good news, or excuse me, 12. But good news there is we still would not have been able to overcome that. So, not to say that's good news, but it doesn't mean that the attack was what lost us the game specifically. It just wasn't able, our inability to keep up with how much they were able to do off of that Myth Weaver or whatever it was called. That card definitely being them finding that off Karn was the key to the game for sure. Like not much else around that card really mattered because it was able to do so much on its own. But that'll do it for me for this draft. Let me know what you're drafting in Cube. I'd love to hear it again. If you don't mind liking and subscribing, it really helps a bunch. You get to see what video we're putting out. We're putting out something different every single week, Thursday at usually 1 p.m. Eastern, sometimes a little off there, but right in that wheelhouse. You'll see a video from us on Thursdays. So I will see you in the next one, and of course, at the end of these videos, cast more spells.